Hello and welcome to Goose Egg Kitchen. I have spent half of my life here and the other half there. 2 homes and a whole world of flavors that I want to share with you. And don't forget that you can also watch this recipe in Italian on my other channel. I think I can speak for everyone when I say that some of our fondest childhood memories revolve around food. And this delicious Southern Italian pastry is no exception for me. Scarcelle, or Scarcelles. Now, this specific preparation is usually reserved for Easter, but the base dough is so incredibly good that it can be used any day of the year to make biscotti, cookies, or even as a base for a tart. For this recipe, you will need 1 cup, or about 120 grams of all-purpose flour, 1 raw egg for the dough, plus 1 boiled egg, 1/4 cup or 50 grams of granulated sugar, 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract or my favorite vanillin powder. Just remember to only use 1/4 to 1/2 teaspoon. 1 tablespoon plus 1 teaspoon or 20 milliliters of olive oil. The zest of 1 lemon, as well as the zest of an orange. 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and as many sprinkles as your heart desires. The first thing we need to do is boil the eggs. But wait a minute! Boiled eggs in a dessert? Oh yes. I just let them go for about 8 minutes and then I cover them with cold water. Today I experimented with 3 different flavors for you: plain, lemon, and orange. I went ahead and zested both my orange and my lemon so that I can have them ready for later. Do yourself a favor and use some sort of a rasp or microplane. They are easy, convenient, and your zest will be the right texture every time. The smell is already intoxicating. I also tried squeezing a little bit of the orange into the dough, but it didn't really work out. It throws off the ratio of the flour and the sugar, and the difference in flavor really isn't enough to justify going through all that trouble. We ended up with about 1 teaspoon of each. Let's make the dough. Don't blink or you'll miss it. It comes together so quickly. We'll start with the flour, then the sugar, the baking powder. We slap it around with a whisk for a few seconds to simulate sifting. And then onto the wet ingredients. 1 large egg, vanilla. Please make sure that you use olive oil. This recipe has very few ingredients and every single one matters. And lastly, the orange zest. Why use a spatula and make it visually appealing when you can just use your index finger? Before you clutch your pearls because of my lack of hygiene, this dough will be mixed by hand. But before we do that, let's incorporate the egg with the dry ingredients with a spoon for just a minute. And now, we finish mixing by hand. With my measurements, you should get a dough ball that is smooth, elastic, not too wet, and not too dry. We are definitely not trying to develop any extra gluten, so only mix for as long as it's necessary. I guess, in theory, you could use a stand mixer with a dough attachment, but everything comes together so quickly, it's really not worth it to get all that stuff dirty. 1 down, 1 to go. Same recipe, just different zest. Quick cleanup, and we're ready to go. Even though I am fashionably late and Easter has come and gone, I decided to share this recipe with you anyway because this dough is so delicious, versatile, fast, and easy to make. There is no way I was going to wait a whole other year for you to have it. Some great alternatives to consider instead of the orange and lemon zest would be anise flavor extract. You can find it at the grocery store right next to the vanilla, chocolate chips, white chocolate chips and macadamia nuts, almonds, any kind of nut really. You can bake it off in a loaf and then slice it like biscotti, or you can shape it any way you want and bake it that way. The sky and your imagination are the only limit. Speaking of shaping the dough, it's It's about that time. You want to dust your counter with the smallest amount of flour, just enough to keep it from sticking, but not so much that it won't want to slide around as you roll it. What we're trying to do is shape the dough into a braid or a rope and then close it into a circle so that it resembles a bird's nest, which is where we're going to place the boiled egg. Once we have our sections, we just start rolling away. How thick or thin you make them is really up to you. You can roll 3 pieces and make a braid, but I opted for a rope and just went with 2. This process is really quick and shouldn't take you more than 5 or 10 minutes beginning to end. Twist them together and make a circle. This is the part where you let your creativity take over and you decorate them any way you wish. This pastry holds so many memories for me and my sister, and this year she made them too. I will show you those pictures at the end of the video. Only one thing left to do before baking, and that's the sprinkles. In order to make sure that plenty of them will stick to the dough, you can brush it with some milk, cream, egg wash, or you might even get away with just using a little water. It is time to let it rain. But maybe you can do a better job than I did. 325 degrees for about a half an hour, but that depends largely on how thick you made the ropes and the strength of your oven. And just like that, you have a delicious treat that will send your taste buds into orbit with Katy Perry. You can store them in an airtight container for a few days, although I don't see how they will last you that long. Keep in mind that the ones with the egg should be consumed within the same day. The cookie part will not fare too well in the refrigerator, while the egg should not be left out of the cold for too many hours. Food safety, y'all! Check out the ones my sister made! And now, the real and the real. Well, that's all for today. My name is Sylvia. Thanks for stopping by. If you would like to support the channel, you can comment, like, share, subscribe, or follow me on TikTok.